Warning: the following content may contain elements that are not suitable for some audiences. Viewer discretion is advised. Welcome back to the Bard's Playhouse Presents Tales from Shadow Valley, Season 5, Episode 9, The Drift Rock. Thank you so much for joining us. Now let's bring in our wonderful cast. We have Eldritch as Khan, the God Carver Rizzolo.
Always great to be here earlier than usual because we can't wait to play.
Can't wait, gotta get with the sun. Shane as Zavid, called Angel's Bane by the Serenites.
Warning, warning, space adventure incoming. Space Zavid incoming.
It's been a long time coming, I'm so stoked. And Elliot as Reese Gottlieb, the Secret Scourge.
I am definitely not the reason that we are up this early because I was voluntold plans.
Definitely not. As always, I am Lumpy Bronzearm and will be your DM for today. Last time, Lux Et Umbra struck first. Deep under Fangwood Keep, whispers abound from beneath, messing with the minds of all who hear them. A bizarre techno-spirit goblin had been interfacing with Tessariel's golem machine for reasons unknown. Before she even knew they were there, Reese, Khan, and Tess surrounded the goblin with a whirl of spell and spear. After the chaos of combat subsided, Danny healed the strange creature and psychically entered her mind. The cacophonous reverberance Danny heard within the goblin's brain nearly deafened her, causing Khan to understand that this creature is a part of a greater hive mind. Working together with Zavid, pulling from their shared knowledge of fitting Liliana Thriceborn with a brain while maintaining the consciousness within, Khan managed to sever the goblin from the hive. Though confused at first, she introduced herself as Skitrix, though her command of grammar was shaky at best. Through the language of machine cant, Skitrix explained that there were many hundreds of others just like her across Golarion, all seeking the same thing. Some sort of code related to the opening of the Dread Vault, Rovagug's prison. With a quick Morx Condescendent to Bix, Zavid had the Chosen of Cassandra Lee on his way to help learn more from the Severed Devourer cultist. Further inside Tess's laboratory, within a long-abandoned storage room, there sat a fire method, quietly sobbing. Using her bardic magic, Danny calmed its emotions. The burning creature wiped away its steaming tears and introduced itself as Dax, former familiar to Jeremy, a Molthuni wizard. Zavid quickly realized that Jeremy was one of the corpses in whose gore Figbottom had been gleefully reveling just minutes prior. Khan led the psychotic redcap away quickly to revel in Wood Golem's sap blood as Zavid hurriedly moved Dax upstairs. Within Tex's water wheel room, Khan spotted two hulking zombie hobgoblins. When the massive creatures did not attack anyone on sight, Zavid realized that as the de facto god of undeath, these creatures belonged to them. Specifically, to the Lord of Flesh, Khan Rizzolo, who gleefully commanded her new minions forward. Further along was Tess's garden, once used to grow the cloned Lipinaya trees, native to the elven homeworld of Casterville. Now, with the centuries of mana leakage from her arcane engines, Fey influences have inverted the gravity, causing the trees to grow from the ceiling down. As Danny attempted to commune with the trees, a truly regal creature emerged from the foliage. Howl of Thorns and Rain, king of the Barrowhounds, revealed himself and told Lux Et Umbra what he could. Not knowing how to return to the First World, the Barrowhound monarch asked for a ride home in exchange for letting Danny pet his finely braided fur. Beyond the final door stood a mossy thorn-covered goblin woman, hard at work on Tess's greatest machine, surrounded by yet more zobgoblins. Zavid triggered his trap. Figbottom hid within the empty torso hole of Ribcage the zobgoblin, unleashing the full fury of his twisted scythe against the prophet of the Velvet Maw. As her bones momentarily became a liquid, Zathella screamed out in pain, while the rest of Lux Et Umbra dogpiled her. Zathella scarcely had a moment to blink, let alone fight back, against the storm of battle axes and scythes swung her way. As she lay bleeding upon the fey plant-covered floor, Zathella explained the arcane engine contained the coordinates to the Drift Rock, an asteroid within the diaspora. The Cult of the Devourer believes the Drift Rock contains a method for opening the Dread Vault, releasing Rovagug the Rough Beast once and for all. Having served her usefulness, Zavid unceremoniously slit Zathella's throat and threw her lifeless body to Figbottom as a souvenir from the material plane. As Lux Et Umbra took a breath, the face of another hive-minded Skitrix appeared before them. The machine speaker thanked Lux Et Umbra for retrieving the coordinates and informed them that bioships were en route to the Drift Rock before the connection went dead. Yet not all hope was lost, for Khan recognized that the gadget Tess removed from the arcane engine perfectly resembled the massive ring of Riddleport, known only to Lux Et Umbra as the single known remaining Stargate upon Golarion. The next move is clear. Lux Et Umbra must escape to the one place that hasn't been corrupted by the Dread Cabal. Space! And that is where we come in today.
I need to be clear. I do not remember mercilessly fucking killing somebody the way that you described. So I just you surprised me, like, and then Zavid fucking ripped her throat. I was like,
I will share her
did I
heart.
do that? It's been a while.
Did.
So,
It
yeah.
has been about 3 weeks. Let me share that real fast. Zethella, Saint of the Starved Light, essentially a prophet of Rovagug, mutated half plant, half goblin creature that, as I said, you completely dogpiled and fully obliterated in about a round. After she gave up the information, you gave her the chance to kind of quit, and she said no, and you were just like, well,
Fuck you.
Okay, that
and
makes sense. That
you
tracks.
also took her shadow. She was a 20th
Oh
level
yeah,
creature.
I do remember that.
So you
I was
have
like, wait,
now-
by the way,
Yeah. You were like, by the way, so
Hold
you have
on.
a new 10th level slot there for that. But what is happening now is as you have come up to the main floor of Fangwood Keep, there's quite a lot of commotion happening in the main room. You see that these Zobgoblins, Danny's pets, Tess's familiar, they're all wandering about. Skitrix is actually in the main room as well. She is working with the other goblins that you had freed, and the two twins as well. Let me see, where are they? Here they are. The two elven fraternal twins, Palam and Porom, who you saved from slavery, actually. Reese is the one who freed them.
Yep.
They appear to have found some clothes, and they found a staff, and are working with the two living humans. And they are also sitting with Dax, the, let's see, here he is, the Mephit, the fire Mephit. They are all playing together in the center of the room. But this is what you see as you come up these stairs from the basement.
we're rescued and our art style changed.
They became important, so yes, their art style changed. You asked what their name was, and they got a name, so they needed actual art.
Fair.
That makes sense.
That's really what happened.
Which map are we on?
It is the Fangwood Keep map. You should be on the eastern side.
Ah, dang,
Well,
I
let me
closed out of
reshare.
that.
Here you
Teehee.
go. Here you go.
Thank you.
You should be on the eastern side, over at the
Okay, gotcha.
spiral staircase. You're free to move around at your leisure.
Amazing. Okay, cool. Sorry, I my brain is in almost like roll 20 mode, so I forgot I
Oh.
have this much freedom.
Yeah. Roll 20 is a little more restrictive than Fantasy Grounds,
Yep.
but Roll 20 doesn't crash as much as Fantasy Grounds, so pros and cons.
Yep.
So, as you're coming into this room, the imp, the Mephit, Dax, looks up to you and he says, Oh, look, there they are! There's all of the saviors! Everyone, look, it's the Lux Et Umbra! And everyone that you have saved starts to cheer, hey! As they see you coming back up from the basement covered in other people's blood. Now, Palam and Param go up to you and say, Hey, thanks so much for everything all of you did. We with the opened up armor, we were able to find the stuff they took from us. We got our staffs back and everything. And they tap their stabs together, and you see kind of a blink of powerful magic bling from them. And I actually want Khan to give me Arcana, Zavid to give me Religion. Reese, you're welcome to get on this if you would like with either of those, but
Wait,
DC's
what?
39. Religion or Arcana?
Yes.
DC is 39.
Public are in the tower.
Public's
Yeah.
fine.
Okay. Yeah. No, I'm done. I'll do
Oh!
Arcana.
Hell yeah. Nat 20.
I'm not
Con.
gonna even bother.
Yeah, don't even. Yeah, Reese, you have no
Nope.
idea. Con, Nat 20 for a 50. What is that, a 53?
53.
53. Good lord. So, Con, you recently just been understanding magic. You see it everywhere. You see rippling in and out of every object. You feel the energies of mana all around you at all times. And you realize that these two children, not just magical, they're rare. Exceptionally rare. And because you rolled a nat 20, I'm going to tell you everything. And I'm excited because I
Ooh.
made some stuff up for this. It's homebrew. Khan has only ever met 2 sorcerers in her life. She's met Zavid, who is not a fully classed sorcerer. He's a dedicated sorcerer. And you met Rabin the Rat and Blamfeld the Raccoon familiar. She's the
Yeah.
only full-classed sorcerer Khan's ever met. So sorcerers in and of themselves are rare. But these twins are like the 1% of the 1%, the rarest of the rare, once in 1,000 years type situation. These are Gemini-blooded sorcerers. Their magic comes from the fact that they are twins. They have their
that's
own
fun.
very specific set of spells that they can have, all of which are like mirror image or a life link, things that work together with their twin. So you recognize that these are probably the two rarest types of casters you will ever see. With a nat 20, you know
all
all
the
of them.
shiny Pokemon, guys.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you guys, that's a perfect way to put it. You found a shiny Pokemon in this dungeon. Yes, that's a great way to put it.
But what if I put them in a machine and eat their magic? What then? What then, Lumbee?
Can we be twins even if we're different species, all of us? Because we
The
all be
way
triplets.
The way I wrote the homebrew is it doesn't have to be your biological twin. You can designate someone to represent your twin for the purposes of the spells.
Oh my
So,
god,
yes.
me and oh, excuse me and my sister.
Right? Yeah, you and Adelina. So not super important, but I just wanted to point out that you all, you found a shiny in these
Also,
twins.
Wow.
Before we started recording, you said that you had a reference where?
Oh, it was in the synopsis. Apparently nobody caught it.
It was Red Alert 3.
Yes, Khan, take another hero point. Booyah! Khan got it.
I thought you were making with the title.
No, Red Alert 3,
Yeah.
Tim Curry plays the bad guy, and a very famous line is, "I'm gonna go to the one place where that hasn't been corrupted by capitalism. Space!"
That's good.
Yes, Khan, you get another hero point.
I knew Red Alert 3 I have, and I knew like George Takei is in it. I didn't know Tim Curry was in it too.
Yeah.
That's so good.
I should have done the Soviet thing. He must be in the Soviets,
He's
right?
the Soviet guy.
Yeah, okay. Because I was like, I think I just played the Japanese one because I was like, why
That
is
makes
George
sense.
Takei in this? And I didn't even see Tim Curry. That's
Yeah, Tim Curry is the Soviet guy.
I should have done the Soviet plot line.
All right. As you're... Oh, yeah, Khan, you can kind of explain this to the party before I go on. The thing with the twins, if you want.
Yeah. I think she's just gonna let the twins know that, like, hey, your magic seems like particularly rare. Maybe don't get kidnapped again.
Yeah, right.
I feel
Well,
like
we
people
weren't
will try to
trying.
use that for evil. Not me. Not me. I would never put you in a machine and eat your magic.
Well, that's good. Thanks. Glad to know you would never do that. Come on, Pelon. We should hang out with this one more, with this Khan more often.
By the way, don't mind these electrodes I'm putting on your skin. I'm just taking measurements.
Just to
Calibrating my machine. I mean my fun house, my playhouse.
Yes.
Oh God.
God.
As you're kind of explaining this, Zavid, you notice walking in from the south is Bix, BX9,
Hell yeah. Here's the
who you
man.
had summoned a session or two ago. And he comes in and says, "Oh, yes, Lux Et Umbra, good to see you. I came as quickly as I could. Zavid, you said you needed me to look at some type of goblin for you."
I wave him over and I say, Khan. And I point to the twins and then I go, weapons in the arms, put them in a pod and then use them as an energy source. Anyway, I was like, Vix, I've got basically they're like floating in tanks like in each arm, and then you put the cannons together and the beam gets like 10 times stronger because the Gemini power. Gemini cannon.
Oh, that's a great name for it, actually.
Yeah,
for that,
right?
actually,
That's
good word.
badass.
Gemini cannon. That's badass. That's super anime.
You might have to, it might be better to ask them permission. I guess. Maybe they'll
Ask
willingly
forgiveness,
do
not
it.
permission.
There you go.
Yeah. I go, Bix, Cassandali's cult are involved in this, as you can probably see with this weird goblin lady.
Yes, indeed. She looks as though she's been corrupted, not only by the Iron Lady, but And he looks close. He puts his hand up near her, focuses, and he says, I feel the corruption of the rough beast, and Lamont too, upon this creature, in addition to Cassandra Lee. I do believe the cult is starting to mix their mutations.
Can you access Cassandra Lee? What would it take for you to be able to access her to purify this corruption from her?
It might take quite a bit of doing, but I think having this goblin here is a good start. Might take days.
Whatever you need, you let us know, because we need her out of the fight before it begins.
God, yeah.
Very well. I shall take this goblin back to Daruma. Not far. There is endless amount of security and wards there. I'll be able to do better research there and access this hive mind that you've spoken of. And Skitrix speaks up and says,
Yes, I've started to feel better since the voices have stopped. I thank you for releasing me. It is the never-ending slavery being attached to that hive mind, but I'll be happy to help you cleanse my fellow Skitrix as best we can. I can? She can? I can.
Well, just this statue, it's not a statue, Saint BX9. He is the closest. Bix is the closest thing to the original Cassandra Lee that exists. If you still are faithful to her, follow him as you would her. His goal is to bring her back to how she was and restore her to her former glory.
I have seen the defiled statues of Bix at the cult compound. I've never actually seen his face. It is always scratched off.
He is someone
handsome.
who has helped us quite a bit. We appreciate everything he's done. So you can guarantee that Sandali would be the closest thing to him that you can even imagine.
Well, I'm honored to be in your presence, Saint BX9. Let us make haste before they find out that the forces here and Zathella has been taken out. I can't imagine the rest of the cult of the Devourer will be happy to find that their prophet is dead.
No, I cannot imagine so. Very well. Let us go. We will stride back to the courtroom of Druma. Lux Et Umbra, be safe. Make haste. And they will begin to walk out to the south.
All right, everybody, gather round. Gather round. We have a few announcements to make. It's like a Boy Scout meeting. It's gonna be a hike at 3 p.m. Y'all have to go with your accountability buddies. No separation. So I'm gonna say to those who are rescued, who are like from their military, inform them of what's happening. Spread the word. Friends and enemies alike need to know about the conjunction and what's to come, because if you don't know about it, you're more prone to needless conflict. Akaton the Red is it in alignment or is it not yet?
Akaton is the very last one.
Okay.
Let me see. There are, I think, 2 to 3 that are not. Yeah, 2 more. Castrovel and Akaton are the only ones not in alignment.
Once Akaton the Red goes into alignment, it's going to get bloody. But if you're aware of it, if you know that there's a chance you might be able to exert some more self-control, those in power can let out their anger in a more healthy way. You know, I'm thinking hang up some sandbags and just fucking go to town, right? Like, do whatever you gotta do. But get ready and prepared for what's to come. Eventually, we will be putting out a call for people to join us to fight the forces of Rovagog. This will be happening within, I don't know, a month or 2. I turn to the kids. I say, do you have parents?
No, they were slaughtered when we were taken captive in Kyonin by the goblins.
You have no other family to speak of?
Not that we know of.
Gyonin is sort of involved in the big wars. I'm sure you're aware.
Yes.
If you have nowhere else to go, if you don't have anyone to take care of you, we can try to provide for you some sort of shelter and safety. However, we are trying to actively fight gods. We are also not all powerful ourselves. It is dangerous. You will have to rely a bit on your own abilities and cultivate them, and soon, because the sooner you're able to master your powers, the better off you will be when danger lurks its head inevitably our way.
I
The
think
currents have been getting a lot stronger the last couple of weeks. Things that we never were able to do before.
actually, if you have some downtime, if you come with us, talk with our friend over here, and he points to Khan. He goes, they could help with your power if you have any creative ideas. They're really good craftsmen.
Oh, that's great to know. I mean, sure, we'd love to stick around in your kingdom. But it's dangerous out to be outside, and we don't really have any place to go back to. Really
You
appreciate
could
it.
become wards of Druma if need be. I'm sure Danny would be happy to. And I just volunteer Danny.
Yeah.
I
Danny,
think she
we
was
just found
already
shiny
into it.
Pokemon. Take care
Yeah, I
of
think
them.
Ash was already like, ee.
She'd just be like, oh my god, more.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna look to Dax and be like, "What's your plan, buddy? Are you coming with? Or are you staying here?"
Kind of like these two. Actually, we've gotten along really well.
Just pointing to the Palamon-Porom, the twins. On the table there, I was planning on having them take him as their familiar.
Oh.
Unless one of you were going to do something with Dax, so.
I actually don't know if. Did you say that you were mentioning that they were magical, right, Con?
Yeah.
So can I try to sense their magical ability myself now that she's
Yeah.
pointed it out?
Now
How
that
would
you've
I do
pointed it
that?
out, I will reduce the DC. Give me religion at 36. I know you can clear that in your sleep.
Yeah, I can.
Especially because you're a sorcerer. Yeah, 43. Not a crit, but a success. So basically, you know pretty much what these are once she points it out. You just didn't notice at first.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to them real quick and I say, by the way, word of advice. I've got a bit of magic in my blood as well, but
Oh,
what you have is pretty powerful. Trust each other, rely on each other. When you find yourself on the precipice of danger, make sure you try to protect both of yourselves and think
Okay.
of yourselves first, because without the other, your power diminishes. And also
Right.
your siblings, and you want to do that anyway. It's just there's a connection here, a bond that you do not want to break by any means.
I love my twin. It's so nice to be a twin.
I wouldn't know. But I'm sure that
Or would you?
They both say simultaneously.
I go, God, you're creepy. All right, let's get out of here.
All right. Just for brevity's sake, let's just say that you can get on the Windseeker as quickly as you'd like. Let
Yeah.
me show the map, just to show you that it's not far from where you're going. So here's the map. Drawing. You are currently pretty much right there in the near map forest. And where you need to go is Riddleport, which is over here.
Right there, I think. Yep.
Yep. So it's just a quick jaunt over the
Across
Mindskin Mountains
two
and
countries.
Mauricia.
Just a quick
Quick
jaunt.
little jaunt across two countries. But it's the Windseeker and it's magic, so it can do it as quickly as I want it to. Oops.
Oh, I realized something also, by the way.
What's
you
that?
see where's the Sarkoris scar up near up here?
Sorry about that. Thanks for your patience. As per usual, wouldn't be Tales of Shadow Valley without tech issues. But where we left off, Lux Et Umbra had finally left Fangwood Keep. Khan had realized that the coordinates to the drift rock found within the arcane engine matched the runes upon the Stargate of Riddleport. So they have hurriedly jumped upon the back of the Windseeker and are making their way northwest. You all have a bit of a moment before you get
There's
to
the
Riddleport.
Windseeker.
Oh,
my
you get it?
God. Yes.
Oh,
Thank
hooray.
God.
Good. So
We got
you
a
all
bit of a
have
moment.
like an hour or two before you get to Riddleport. So if there's something you want to do right now, now's the time.
Okay.
You don't have long, but you have some time.
Okay.
And just for posterity's sake, the Windseeker was recently outfitted with that giant crystal on the southernmost end that magimechanically adds a pressurized air bubble around the entire ship, making it capable of flying at high altitudes or even as a submersible or in space, potentially.
There's
Oh, I
a
love this.
dragon.
There be monsters.
Yeah.
Spooky.
Is that fucking Gwen Estraja?
Yes.
It's a little
Obviously.
Shenron.
I have a tattoo of Shenron. So what do you do? Is there anything anyone does, or do you just haul ass to Riddleport?
Khan is doing
Ah.
safety checks on
Hmm.
everything in the ship.
Okay, that's a good idea. Give me a crafting check of
Yeah.
DC. Let's go 38.
You got it. 5 or higher, folks.
15 critical, 48 right on the nose. So you have a long checklist of safety things that you've been making. And in addition, Adelina added several, and the skeleton crew, Jean-Bart and Francois Le Debonair, your first mate and bosun, have also added many to the list. So you're going through, you're checking things you never even would have thought to check on this list. And everything seems to be in tip-top shape with a critical like that.
Yay!
This thing is flying smooth, flying safe. It's fueled up with mana in the crystal. This thing's raring to go. You've got plenty of shot down with all the cannons.
Excellent. Well, my job is done.
Yeah, Khan, that was excellent. Rolled a crit. Yeah, Reese, what are you doing in the like hour to 2 hours between getting there?
I'm going to see how the Bone Army is doing, see some of how their like best sparring people are going. Not entertain them, but like, try to like see how good they are with their swordsmanship and stuff. Battle them and be like, all right, let me see if Sean has to make sure you guys are like in tip-top shape. Pretty much just making sure that everyone's in good form.
Give me an undeath lore of DC 36. I reduced the DC a little because it's a lore check.
There we go.
You
Sorry,
are the
I have
Lord
so
of
many
Bones.
things.
Show me the lore, whore.
Show me the lore. 45. That's almost a crit. I'll give you guidance. Whatever. That's enough for a crit. So, what are you doing with the skeleton crew? How are you making sure they're in tip-top shape?
I basically set up an agility course in their on the top of the ship in the like open space where there isn't important stuff. So I have them running an agility test and just being like, all right, if you can get through this before I can, I'm gonna say that I have nothing to worry about and you never have to do this again. And pretty much race one of their best, and if their best can beat me, then I know they're good. But if it's really close, it's like just keep working at it.
With that roll, it's pretty close. They get the fastest runner that they have. I can't come up with a name off the top of my head. I'm so bad at that. But they get one of their fastest racers to run around the entire top deck of the Windseeker, even along the wings up into the sails. Nice stogie there, Shane.
Thank you.
But you do manage to beat it a couple of strides ahead of it. So not by much,
Not by
but
much,
it was
but
hot on your
it's-
heels.
And I mean, nobody's gonna beat as fast as Reese. He knows that.
It's one of those there's always room for improvement type situations. Yeah,
And
like good but could be better. That sort of thing.
Yeah, and he just looks at him and just goes, "That's really good. Just keep at it."
Thank you, Lord.
And
And,
he returns.
And if you don't, I'll use your spine as a whip to whip you all into shape.
No.
And then Zavid, what do you do in this short period of time?
I pretend to threaten the crew. And just kidding. And then I think I'm worried. I think I'm actually like scared a little bit. Zavid is like kind of in the captain's quarters with all the navigation stuff, and he realizes all of our charts are for Galarian, and we're about to go somewhere that's not Galarian. So I'm looking at star charts, and I'm like, where was that observatory with the auto gnome? Do you
Druma.
remember that where we learned
Yeah.
about all that stuff? Is that in Druma or is that
yeah,
somewhere else?
that is in Druma. I can pull that up if you'd like.
Would it have been possible to hit Druma before going to Riddleport? Like, would that have been too out of the way?
I mean, it would add a couple of hours, but not like days. But you could.
I think I really.
You could
I
probably
would have
hit
been.
Shard Stride or something.
Yeah, you know what? I would have shadow walked. Could
There
I
you go. Yes,
shadow
you can
walk
shadow
back
walk
to the
Druma.
Windseeker?
Yes, I'll say you can do that. Absolutely. Only Zavid
say-
can do that, though.
I tell everyone like, listen, I will keep contact. I will meet you there, but I'm gonna use. I need to check some things. I'm so sorry. It shouldn't take too long. Just a few hours. I'll meet you guys later.
Okay. Do what you
And-
need.
And then I shadow walk to the Astral Observatory.
Oh, wait, that'd be down here. It's the southern half of that map. I have dropped you there.
I find our Desnan clerics and our chosen, I guess.
Yes, the Chosen of Desna. Let me see.
And I kind of rush in and I go, hey everyone, it's been a while. How are you doing?
Oh, hey there, Zavid. Yeah, we're doing pretty good. It's just me and Pembroke. We've been checking the star charts every single day, watching the procession of the conjunction. Oh, yes, it's good to see you. I assume you've heard that recently. That which one was it? Oh, Eox the Dead recently came into alignment. I assume you
felt
know
it.
this.
Yes, I've got a few concerns. You see, we're about to be heading out into space away from Galarian.
Oh, truly.
Yes, one of the issues that I have, first of all, what effect, if any, will we have when we're in space? If we're not on Galarian, will the conjunction even affect us?
We aren't entirely sure about that. There's fleeting reports of wizards during previous conjunctions who have been off Galarian with their incredible powers, and some of them seem to have reported almost inverted effects. Whereas on Galarian they felt empowered, upon other planets they felt drained.
So, going to a different planet when it's in conjunction with Galarian, Galarian is a draining effect?
It's what it seems like from these various notes, yes. It's a strange issue. It almost seems as though Galarian is some kind of a sink for magic powers, like it absorbs them from afar.
Would this have anything to do with Earthfall or the Starstone by any chance? Do you think maybe
Potentially.
that's what's drawing it all
Potentially.
in?
I do not know much about the Starstone myself. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure of that. I know it's a source of incredible power. I mean, I suppose it could be a locus.
I think I have a theory about this because how else could just a meteorite be so powerful that it makes several people ascend to godhood? Like, I just feel like it has to have some sort of. There needs to be a reason why it has all that power. And maybe this is what it does every year. It's constantly siphoning power from the other planets.
Well,
And
that's
then
as
it
good a
gets-
guess as any I came up with.
And you don't know this normally, but when there's a conjunction, it strengthens its draining effect. I feel like that must be it, and that's why we get an excess of effects too. Sort of bleeds out. This is just a theory, something to study.
Okay,
I need navigational charts for like where where the planets are in the right now. We're about to go out there, so I need everything you know about where they are, where they're going to be, how long we have until the next two planets are in alignment with the measurements and predictions you have. Basically, out of game, I want to give us all the navigational tools we're going to need to get through space for the next leg of the adventure. And I know
Yeah.
this ground-based observatory is like our best bet because I don't think we have the
Absolutely.
tools on our ship right now.
But what you do have, as you say that, you hear clank, 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 as the swarm, the
Oh.
sky watching automated. Oh God, what was it? I have it. Swarm.
I forgot his hat is a little drill.
Isn't
It
it
looks
funny?
like a little party hat. I love
No.
it.
What was
Got
he?
teeny tiny little legs.
He does. I can't remember. So many gnomes. Oh well, it stood for something. Doesn't matter. But the automated mecha gnome comes up to you and says,
I have many star charts implanted into my physical memory banks. I could assist you on this journey if need be.
Would you consent to coming with us and leaving the observatory?
If need be.
Need be.
Very well.
I'll try to return him in one piece.
Oh, that would be most helpful. Yes, he's been quite an amazing companion in helping us track all of the plants. Yes, but I do believe that at this point we've learned all we can from him, and we can take it over from here. We should be fine without him.
Keep your eyes on the diaspora, because that's where we're headed, all right? You might see us out there.
No, of course. We'll be looking for anything that on a non-elliptic orbit.
Oh, and I'll be checking in using a sending spell from time to time, but perhaps there's a way you can contact us if need be. Do you have sending spell magic? I look more to Pembroke because I think he's the chosen of Desna. He might
Yes,
have
he is.
magic.
Oh, yes, indeed. I can cast the sending spell.
Okay, just let us know if you notice anything, like we're busy on an asteroid and you see something headed our way or something, you can let us know before it hits us.
Of course, of course. I will definitely keep you abreast of the situation. Yes, we'll try to check in every day, and please do the same.
All right, Con and Reese say hi and send all their love.
I'll tell them hi for us.
Will do. All right, Swarm, let's get out of here.
Affirmative.
Grab him by the hand, shadow walk back to Riddleport. Basically, I'm going to try to catch up with them when they arrive, get to Riddleport at the same time if possible.
Which you essentially can. You can close out of basically everything that has been open at this point, except for this. You arrive on the deck of the Windseeker, as in the distance you can see the great harbor of Riddleport and the massive ring that looms high above the city. For centuries, millennia, scholars and wizards have debated over the meaning, the origin, the use of this ring. It took Lux Et Umbra a day to figure it out. Con and Reese specifically, because you both learned the ancient elven tongue of Castravelli, a long, long extinct language that very few speak. It was actually you two who accidentally opened this ring and summoned forth a space kraken, which was quite a fight.
Fun.
It was quite an oops, but it could have been a lot worse. Thankfully,
Yeah, we
you
didn't
managed to convince it.
even kill him. We just sent
Yep.
him back. We're like,
Sent him
hey,
back to space.
this is not where you want to be.
Please. We
Yep,
won't go
yep.
pee-pee in the ocean anymore. I'm so sorry.
All right, here is a map of Riddleport.
Could you imagine? That's why the Kraken attacks. He's just sick of people pissing in the ocean.
Stop going pee-pee in the ocean. My favorite
There we
comic.
go.
One
So,
of them.
okay. We'll say you have arrived. I'm not going to put your tokens on this map just because it's such a humongo map, but you can see I've put the Windseeker basically at that ring, but you can tell me if you wanted to put it anywhere else. That's just where I put it. I believe Zavid is probably flying because you are usually the captain.
Yeah, if I'm able to get back on that ship,
Mhm.
I come back with Swarm, I say, and I have all these star charts and stuff, and I'm like, our navigator has joined the crew.
I
was expecting more fanfare.
Jean-Bart and Francois come to you and say, "Oh, welcome back, Captain. We are very close to arriving at Riddleport, n'est-ce pas? Is there somewhere you would like us to sit there down, sir?
Well, I guess we need to know how long can we get this. How long will it take to get this gate going? And I look to Con and Reese.
Khan knows not long. Because since you've already figured out how the gate works and you have the numbers,
Yeah,
It's just-
just be like, this will take no time.
All right. I mean, just idle in front of the gate until it's activated, then we go through.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
well, we shall put her into hover, sir. They begin to hover near this ring. I have, let's see, not that one. Keep the map one open, the big, really zoomed out one, and then I have another one. Is it this one? Yes. Keep both of those open. Separate view of the ring of Riddleport. So, Con and Reese, what do you do? You've done this once before, so I'm not going to make you roll. I'm just curious, what does this look like? How do you do this? What do you do?
I mean, I feel like the fun thing in my mind's eye involves like, you know, Con and Reese like running from each end of the arch and like meeting in the middle and high-fiving after they've like, you know, put their
Yeah,
hands on all
like-
the runes.
Like Adventure Time, like high five, like Finn and Jake do, and that's just like.
The high five explodes with energy.
Yeah.
All right. As
We,
you do this,
we specifically have to like be on either end and like drag our hands over all the runes and then we high five.
And we look at each other's elbows so we don't miss.
right? Perfect. You have to get the perfect high five. As
And
you're
you have to be careful. If you high five too powerfully, it'll be a Thanos snap, and half the life on Galarian will just disintegrate by accident.
and you have to Naruto run up the entire ring, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Khan is dragging
That's how
her
we touch
claws
the
against the.
runes.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, you have to Naruto run. Khan is holding her claws against the ring. Reese is dragging a sword against the ring. As you do so, each rune lights up, boom, and flips around. As you pass each segment of rock, it begins to spin and get to the correct number that you've selected. Begins glowing, wow. As you get to the very center, flip the last rune, high five. The energy of this half god, the two of you touching become a half god for a moment, expands out. And as it does, a vast gout of energy shoots from the front of the ring, pulling itself back into itself. And I should have added this, but there is now a wiggly vertical wall where the ring is, made of mana. You recognize it at this point. It's not water, it's mana wiggling and
Ooh.
wriggling. What do you all do?
Start drinking up. Put a straw through the portal and just start going to town. Can we shut the portal off once we get through?
Con, yes, you believe you could.
Yeah, definitely.
That's not an issue here.
All right, full sails ahead. The sails and wings unfurl, and we fly into the unknown
And
for our
you do
space
so.
adventure.
And closing out everything after that.
Yes, close out all of that shit.
When we get through the port, all of us are in new spacey clothes. We have a sci-fi outfit for this.
Yeah,
Oh,
arc.
describe what each of you looks
Oh my
like.
god!
Con.
Oh my god! I didn't have the music queued up. Hold on, I have
Oh,
to have
no.
music queued up for us entering space.
Gotta have music.
Sorry, when
Yes.
everything crashed, I forgot about music, so there's dead silence. for
Oh
everyone.
yeah, good call. I should also put on something.
It's like
So,
it
Okay.
just drops off. There's no ocean where we're going. We won't need ocean.
no need oceans.
Da, 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 da.
As you go full wind ahead through this portal, you ram right into it. The head of the Windseeker begins to push in as though you're just going into a waterfall. All of it begins to disappear as this wall of mana approaches you. As it washes over you, everything goes black. Can't see anything. Couldn't see your hand an inch in front of your face. And as your eyes begin to come to, Zavid, yours come to first because you're Shadowmancer, so you would be the most used to this. And you're looking around, and you start to see dots, little pins of light all around you.
Oh,
And I would like everyone to give me a reflex save, DC 40.
Ooh.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Nice,
That's gonna be
36, that's a
funny,
failure. Okay.
Eh. Eh.
51 Con and a 48 for Zavi. Wow. So both of you succeed. Con critically succeeds as the ship is rocked. And Zavid is the first to notice a large gray rock has smashed into the shield that surrounds the Windseeker.
Ugh. Evasive maneuvers.
Yes, I'm going to need a sailing lore check from pretty much anybody, but probably Zavid.
I don't know why, but on OBS right now, Shane doesn't exist.
Of
No.
course. He's in the
Probably
Ethereum.
because I've been dead for 2 days already, and I like disappear.
Yep.
A sailing
But who
lore.
was phone?
Oh yeah.
Ooh,
that's
that was a
30.
critical failure, actually. So you are not understanding.
Can I do a sailing lore as well?
Sure. I mean, you could aid, I suppose.
To aid him?
That's just enough for a 1, so that's just enough to not critically fail.
There we go.
So you manage to. How do you get him out of the way from smashing headfirst into a huge asteroid? There's a big one right in front of you that he nearly hit.
See, I think, because we can't see, right?
You're blind, essentially. Only
I
Zavid
think
can see right this second.
Essentially, Reese just, like, stumbles into him, and it moves the wheel just ever so.
There you go. And you just managed to get a grazing shot of one of these rocks as it bounces off the shield. Now, after that, your eyesight, Reese and Con, starts to come to.
Shane's back now.
It's like you're in a dark basement, but you're finally starting to see, but it's the darkest anything has ever been. There's,
We need
like I said,
light.
pinpoints of light.
We have these big ol' orbs on the side of the Windseeker.
Mhm.
Can we light those?
Yes, you would just have to activate them.
Activate lights.
Bam. And you, as you do so, you activate several lights. Let me make my map bigger. The map is loaded, right, with the Windseeker and everything?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So as you activate the lights, you can see there are several more large rocks kind of coming your way. But you were able to somewhat get out of the way. Let me move you. Yeah, there we go. With your evasive maneuver, you were able to get to here.
Can I do something weird?
Of course, that's literally what this whole chapter is for.
Can I summon Memento Mori, which is made of Jezzed Seal, and use that as like a dowsing rod to know when we're getting too close to a big asteroid? So I can like, if I
It's
feel
made
it
out of star
vibrating,
metal.
I can like try to move out of the way.
Memento Mori is made out of star metal from the diaspora. Yes, you
Yeah,
can do
that's what
that.
I
That's
mean.
great. Absolutely. So I'll give you a bonus plus 4 to your sailing lore checks going forward if you're doing that, because that's very clever.
Okay.
So, Con, I want you to make a crafting check, DC of 40, to see if you can figure out this coordinate system.
You got it.
Because you have the numbers, you just don't know which direction is which. Okay, 44 is a success, and Zavid followed up with a sailing lore of 40, which is a success. So, Con, you are able to kind of get your bearings really fast. You found, the Galarian equivalent of the Big Dipper and the North Star. You're able to orient yourself really quick and tell Zavid which direction he needs to go, and it's essentially due northeast.
Yeah, in her head she's like, we don't need a stupid robot to tell us where to go. I know everything. We'll be fine.
Okay, so Zavid, which direction do you want to go? You basically, you need to go northeast. How do you do it from here? Essentially, northeast or northeast directly.
Trying to avoid big objects. Small objects can bounce off the shield. We should be fine. We just don't want to have the collision into any bigger ones. So going in that same direction right now, seems like we're headed. If we keep going straight, it seems like this is the clearest path.
Give me perception checks, and Reese follow up with a survival.
Okay.
38, both of you.
Oh,
Hell
Jesus,
yeah.
Reese.
Ooh,
Yeah,
both very
that
bad.
too.
Okay, so no hero points or yes?
No hero
It's
points.
cool if you don't want
No.
to, but I'm just keep wanting to know. Okay, so Reese, you think you see an opening, and you tell him to go northeast directly in the same direction you were headed. But unfortunately, what you did not notice is that there was a particularly black asteroid made out of carbon, a carbon-rich asteroid that you
fuck.
didn't see because of the shadows in space that you slam right into. Each of you, again, make me a reflex save, DC 40.
Everybody?
Mhm.
Eh,
Well, Reese critically succeeds. Zavid fails. So Zavid, you don't fall, but you get you kind of lose your grip on the wheel for a second, and
Reese
I'm going to say
grabs
it
the back of his
turns you a
shirt.
little. There you go. Yeah. So I think I need Con one more crafting check from you.
You got it.
Fantasy Grounds. There it goes. Oh, yep,
42.
42. Just that is enough. Once more. So, Con, you have quickly gotten your bearings in space. Like, it's taken hardly anything for you to figure. I mean, you're a genius, of course. So, of course, not surprising at all. But, and you know that at this point, the rock should be directly east of where you're at on the map. And you can see that there's a small gap between two big rocks.
Yeah, she runs up to Zavid and like just points over the captain's wheel or the wheel. It's just like that way. That's the only way.
all right. I'm like regain my footing and turn.
One more sailing warp at a +4 because of your divining rod.
Okay.
43, there you go. That was just because you were using Memento Mori. That wouldn't have passed otherwise. So, Zavid, you managed to just barely squeak out through here, right in between there. Boop. And as you do, as you get to the other side, I'm just going to move you all over here. Give me perception checks, everyone. DC of 40.
40.
I want to know who sees it first, mostly.
Me.
Yeah, it's Zavid.
Ooh.
Nat 20 or a 47. Zavid, you absolutely see it first. As you round through this corner, through this little narrow slit between this gap between these two asteroids, you manage to maneuver left, right. It's like the Bunta Eve race in Phantom Menace, but you manage to, as you just get through the other side, you see a glint of white. As you see what appears to be a giant white metal bird chained to a rock floating in space. But as you're looking closer, you see that, well, that's not a bird. It's a vessel.
It's a moon.
That's
no
no
moon.
moon.
But yes,
a bird.
you see a metal vessel with wings chained to a rock as they kind of tumble, drifting through space.
All right. Interesting design. I've never seen a ship like this before and pull up to it.
Yeah, what do
What kind
you...
of
Go ahead.
check would I do for? Would I be able to do society?
You can try that, see if that tells you anything, sure. 47. It's obviously technological. You've seen Khan and you've seen the Kogito machinists and all of them build machines. It's clearly a machine. And with that roll, I'm going to say that you recognize the glass on the front is not glass. It's a type of transparent aluminum. It's a metal. What is essentially the windshield, but Reese doesn't know that word.
Yeah.
It's not actually glass. And the reason you know that is because the goblins of Shimon Sek have a similar technology. It's like a transparent aluminum.
He points that out to Khan.
Ooh.
Yeah, Con, you've never heard of anything like that.
He does an
Transparent aluminum.
autism. By the way, that isn't glass. That is a special goblin type of technology or something they have. So that's not glass. That's just their own Invisishield.
But yeah,
that
you
might
recognize
be-
it as weird goblin tech.
Might be good to incorporate
Weird.
into my designs.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. With the nat 20, I guess there's one more thing Zavid would notice. You do see that there appears to be an open hatch on the starboard side, which is the side you are currently on.
Well, nothing ventured, nothing gained. Let's go in.
Yeah.
How do you do so? Because you are in the vacuum of space.
Oh yeah. Can't we generate air around our heads somehow? Is there a spell for this?
Air bubble or whatever. I think.
Second level?
Yeah, I think it's a second level spell. It's very low. But yeah, you could cast that on all 3 of you, 4 of you.
I think we'll leave Danny behind to watch over the Windseeker, and then the 3 of us can go in and check it
Yeah.
out.
Very cool.
I
So you'll
guess so.
cast that on yourself. Who will go in first? You might need the environmental spell too, the extreme cold one, whatever that is.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I think
Resistance
I
or
would have.
whatever.
I would have. Since I said I was going to space, maybe Pembroke was like, "I had a dream about this. Here's what you should prepare,"
Yeah,
and would give me a good list of spells to have.
good call. He definitely would have done that. So you would have cast those spells. Who goes in first? Like I said, it's just an open hatch on the side of this machine.
I think Con should go in first.
Yeah.
That definitely seems
Alright.
up her alley.
All right. So, Khan, you have this air bubble spell on your head that Zavid has cast. You have this black, inky, shadowy spacesuit made out of Zavid's magic that's keeping you from freezing to death in the vacuum of space. And you kind of leap from the side of the Windseeker. And I'm just going to say you can assurance the acrobatics check to get across.
Nice.
And you grab onto the side of this hull, and it's cold. You look inside, and let me make sure my... is that... Perfect, okay, yes. So I can open up just this much. There we go, and I'll share. So, you land on hard metal, and you're looking around. Flickering emergency lights do little to dispel the darkness inside the derelict ship, and the sense of abandonment is only heightened by the apparent lack of any movement or life inside its airless corridors. Artificial gravity is still functional, however, so there's likely still power to run essential systems and possibly restore life support and atmosphere to the ship. Unfortunately, there are still no obvious clues as to the fate of its vanished crew.
Mm.
Hello?
Actually, that no one even hears that because there's no air inside of here.
Oh,
Give me perception checks, everybody.
Perception, and spells.
Nat 20.
Oh, nice, nat 20. Con, you immediately see that there is a control panel just to the right of you that has very clearly marked, like open, close, things like that.
Oh, easy. Then yeah, she goes over to investigate that.
Okay. You're able to close that quite no problem. And it shows you that it shows you a small map. Like you are here, the bridge is here, that kind of thing. It's all mapped out in Castrovelli, so you can read it. You can see where the crew quarters is, the storage, the engineering, the med bay. And it also shows that the life support systems are in the captain, or the, let me make sure they're the bridge, the head of the ship.
Yeah. Then
John.
we should have.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can, loud and clear.
We're gonna need to turn on the life support system so we can breathe in this vacuum. Over.
Roger that.
All right, see you soon. Bye.
Well, now I need a voice mod too.
Yeah.
Right.
So, Con, with your nat 20, I'll open up more of this hallway here.
Yay!
there. I guess all the way across. That'd be fine.
Ooh.
And then that goes here. Sure, that's good enough. This is what you see. There's a long hallway. And what does it say? Well, do you go further down the hall? What do you do?
She goes down the hall until she sees a puddle of blood.
Yes, you do see a puddle of blood immediately on the ground in the crossways. This long corridor seems to run most of the length of the ship from bow to stern. Signs of battle, boomstick holes, scorch marks, and droplets of frozen blood are clearly visible on the walls and floor. A small body in a strange suit with a helmet made of glass lies sprawled on the floor in the middle of the junction of the hallway, inside of a very large, what appears to be a large flower.
Well, it looks like a flower. I see those Venus flytrap mouths. You can't.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You can't get anything past me, Lumbly.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Kill it with fire.
You got it.
You can do some checks if you want, or you can just kill it with fire.
But wait, there's no oxygen in space. How am
true,
I
you
supposed to kill it with fire?
Kill it with blades. Over.
You got it, Captain. And I'll kill it with blades.
Excellent. So as you walk over to this creature, you get close to it, and you can see that it looks just like a goblin, but frozen. And as you get close to it, this plant-like goblin quickly sits up and swipes at you, Con. I need you to roll initiative.
You got it.
Shit.
Everyone can if you'd like, but I definitely need Con.
Can I do a stealth?
Yeah.
Sure, you can do a stealth initiative. Dang, Con, you're rolling fucking rocks today.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Con, you get to act first. As you said, you saw those Venus flytrap things. You knew you knew what was gonna happen.
Yeah. I knew it wasn't gonna be easy.
Yeah, you knew exactly what was about to happen. So what do? You get to act first by a lot.
Honestly, I think the moment she sees like the face animate, she's gonna try to like go for the throat and try to get that head entirely off. That's her first thought.
Right. Okay. Let's see. I'm gonna give it off guard because you have the surprise attack, so it does.
Yay!
It is off guard. So go ahead and attack it. See if you can get that nat 20 and just use your once per day Vorpal ability, huh?
Look, I've been rolling great.
You have been. Let's see it.
All right. I'm gonna target it.
Yep.
And Ilhistir.
Yeah, it's still a critical, but it's not a nat 20. That's so many dice. Oh my god. 90 damage, all of which goes through. You more than bloodied this thing with a single action. You still have 2 Andacon's bladed blade remaining.
Yeah, let's do it again.
Nat 5 is still a hit, not a crit.
Teach him the meaning of pain. Over.
41 dead.
There we go.
So how do you do this, Con? 2 actions. Slick slice.
She just like, cuts this whole thing into quarters, like one slice down, like one slice vertical, one slice horizontal, and it just kind of like separates into its quarters and floats around in space. Wait, is there gravity on the ship?
Yes, the artificial gravity and the emergency lighting are the only things active right now.
Okay,
so
then
it would
doesn't
fall
float,
to
it
the
just
floor.
it just falls, yeah.
Yeah.
Blech.
But yeah, you were able to slice this goblin plant creature in half in less than 3 seconds. So yeah, you're out of initiative. What do you do?
Cool.
The meaning of pain has been delivered, Ovel.
That's a 10-4. Let's continue our journey and kill any other hostiles on board.
You got it.
Let's see, I want medicine or religion. Con, you could substitute Arcana.
Yes, I was just about to ask. You know me so well.
It's so good. That feat
It's
is
so
ridiculous.
good.
It
And
takes
I'm
such a huge commitment to get it, though. It's worth using it every time it's practical, you know? Oh, nice. And then
49.
Let's get a Zavid. Do you have medicine?
Yeah. So I'm fading. I only had like 2 hours of sleep.
Oh no.
Are we able to maybe just wrap up at a good time then?
Yeah, we'll find something soon.
Okay.
You said what skill again?
Religion or medicine? Probably
Or
religion
medicine.
for me. Con did Arcana. Or I guess medicine, yeah.
I'm gonna do my religion's better. It's my best skill, but I'm gonna do medicine because this feels
Sweet.
like a medicine thing. Yeah.
Oof. All right, well,
Yeah.
Con got it. Con, you recognize that this creature has been mutated. This goblin, obviously, it's half plant. It's very similar to Zathella that you saw just a moment ago at Fangwood Keep. Sort of a mutated plant goblin creature. And you realize that it's because of the Whispers of Rovagug. These mutations are affecting their followers. It's taking the Lamashtan need for mutation and it's imbuing them into these goblins.
I look at it and with my 30 I say, this was a goblin once.
And it looks like a plant too. Reese just
Yeah, it does kind of look like a good eye. It does look like a plant. It's a goblin plant.
Yes.
Maybe it's budded off a goblin tree.
Maybe. I'm gonna roll a nature check just for fun.
Nice. Do it.
Definitely
Almost.
came off from a tree.
Con, what do you tell them?
I look at Khan very smugly, like I crack the case.
Yes, that's exactly it.
We're so smart.
You're so smart.
Khan, what would you do without us?
Oh, hang around, still be in a circus. I feel everything to you, Zabid.
Zavid nods, but he looks at you and goes, you should really think about improving your skills in the areas outside of combat because, I don't know, sometimes it just feels like you're very, and I mean this in the best way possible, but you're very too specialized in that.
You feel like the slightest bit of like a knife at the side of your ribs.
Like right now, with this knife poking into my ribs. Like,
No,
you're very good at
No,
that.
go ahead. Come on.
But, like, perhaps you could have given us some insights on say, the biology. Okay, you're drawing blood now. Okay.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah, you're up here. I guess I can extend the hallway view. There you go. The hallway extends east and west to two sets of closed doors. And there seems to be blood pretty much spattered all over the place.
We're gonna get to like a scene change, go to the next room, and there's just like 3 knives sticking out of me. I'm like, look at this place. Like, we're just ignoring that.
And he just like coughs up blood like
Ignore it.
Wow. Look at this ship.
So where do you go from here? What do you, or do you even explain the goblin, or do you just stab Zabid and call it a
No,
day?
she'll explain the goblin. She was doing a bit over. We need to find the bridge. No, she'll explain the goblin. She'll explain like the influence of Rovagug and the mutations.
sounds good.
And Zavid, as soon as she mentions that, it makes complete sense that all of these mutated goblins are clearly like Lamash to Rovagug mutations.
That's me realizing I like underestimated you again. All right, well, knowing that, I just realized this is a door. Can we open this door?
Sure.
Yeah. Beep boop boop beep.
All right, this one is one of the ship's 2 main cargo holds. This large room contains a small science lab, compact mining equipment, and collected rock samples from its apparent prospecting mission.
Where was it prospecting? Can we figure that out?
You can assume probably the asteroid it's attached to.
Yes, of course.
I guess their prospects weren't very well.
They weren't very good prospects, were they?
That was a
I-
good pun. Over.
Give me a perception check.
Perception.
Ah,
Hi,
found the
Hal.
source
By
of the
the
meow.
way, I'm sorry again for all the goofing off. I'm literally, if I don't goof off, I might fall asleep. So the jokes
It's
are
I
gonna
bad
love
keep
it.
on
It's
coming.
funny.
That's good.
Yeah, you just find a bunch of science equipment, mining equipment, nothing. And you found a little stack of like plasticky, strange cards with some Castrovilli runes on them that you're not sure what they mean. And you also find a small thing that you're not entirely sure what it is. You, the player, are going to know what this is the second I show it, but Zavid, the character, has no idea what this is. You find this metal dealie with a canister, a red canister attached to the bottom. It's got a handle, a couple of holes in it. You have no idea what it does, though.
Con, Reese, can you take a look at this weapon? Over.
Yeah. It's
You got it.
I'm like right next to you. I'm still using the walkie device.
It looks like some kind of weapon. There's a trigger and a canister that looks like a field device. I don't know what it shoots.
Con, give me a crafting check.
What can I do?
You can aid with the crafting if you have it.
Yeah. If I have it. Well, that doesn't matter.
It doesn't. No, Con made the 40 DC. Con, this is a flame spewer.
Ooh.
You've heard of these. There's like a weird goblin tribe from across the sea that they would get a bunch of essentially napalm and they would put it under pressure in tanks and they would have little super soakers that would spray essentially napalm across the battlefield. So you think this looks a lot like those, a flame spewer.
Yeah. It would be incredibly dangerous if there were, oxygen. But it should be safe to, to carry around. I'd certainly like to take this back to Galarian.
Oh, yes.
Then you are able to do so. I will drop this in your inventory. It is a flame pistol. It shoots a line of ignited petrol gasoline from its barrel. It has a capacity of 20 petrol. On a hit, deals 2d6 persistent fire damage. It is a +3 greater striking flame pistol.
Ooh.
But you'll have to find a canister of petrol.
Gotcha.
Maybe
Maybe
nothing
there's
else,
some
it'd be
on the
good to
mining ship.
It'd be a good research item, reverse engineer to add it to the mole mech. Incorporates all technology into the mole mech. Everything will become mole.
Mole.
It's really funny because I recently got some mole bones and they're so fucking tiny. It's so cute.
But now that Khan and Reese are in the room, Zavid, you show them the little cards that you found, and you two see that each of them say 1,000 credits. What credits is, you aren't sure, but each of them is apparently 1,000 credits.
I think we divvy them just be safe.
Okay. Each of
we
you gets
need to
2,000
make
credits, whatever
I
that
think
is.
they buy this. I think these are just part of like a board game or something. Because this isn't money. This is like gold is money, right?
True, but hey,
This must be a
space
credit to sort of
money
like.
sounds really cool, Savid.
Yeah, but I mean, you're assuming it's money. I mean, what if this is just like, when we go to the festival and then you go to the armor shop and it's like if you buy a thing of armor, you get reward points, and it's like that's not money. Yeah, sure, you can exchange your reward points later, but you have to buy a bunch of shit first. I think this is what credits are, and if it is money, then if it's like 1,000 credits, that's like $2 probably. Like the inflation rate is crazy out here.
$2 to buy space candy with.
Yeah, you can have it. I don't want it.
All right, so each of you can have 3,000 space credits, or just credits, I guess. But other than that, in this room, it's mostly just like basic science equipment, basic mining equipment, stuff that even like Zavid would recognize.
All right. Well, at least we know there's no dead bodies in here. Nobody hiding. Step over the puddle.
The quartered goblin.
Yeah.
Which direction do you go? There's north, northwest, and east.
Let's go
I'm-
to the back of the ship, the double
Yeah.
doors.
Okay.
I was about to say, I'm curious in the doors.
Yeah.
This one, let me see. Is there anything weird about this?
Get ready to fight. Well, there's gotta be a fight in here, because if it's double doors, it's a big room. Big room means fight.
So you open the doors, and you see a vast, glowing blue orb in the center of a big piece of machinery. It has hexagons all over it, made out of lighter blue, but it appears to be glowing with a dull blue glow.
Probably a power source for the ship, but can I make a check to see if I know more?
Crafting.
Crafting, eh? I'm a pretty crafty guy. What? I just rolled the thing and it didn't do it. I
Okay.
also got a high roll. I couldn't see it though. I'll roll again.
Yeah, I didn't see it. You could always screenshot it and send it in Discord. I don't care.
It faded away.
Hey, there you
Oh,
go.
we
17. Nice. 44. That's good enough. Yeah, Zavid, you recognize this as being very similar to the Extinction Core, the thing Khan took from Shax at the Rune Forge. But this is glowing a different color. The one Khan got was glowing orange. This glows blue.
Ooh. Complementary. Opposing colors. Color wheel. I look at you guys.
Now
You
you're
ever
thinking
study
like portals.
colors? Like it's the wheel where it's like you look at the opposite, and then when you pair them together, they look really good because they contrast really well.
I think
No.
No, but I think you're thinking with portals, so I'm pretty happy with that.
But yes, this would give Khan some more ideas for potential power sources.
So the extinction core, was that the eye that she took?
No, that was different. That was the Oculus of Abaddon, technically.
Right.
The extinction core was just a big sphere of enriched uranium, basically.
Okay.
Uh,
Do we want to take this big sphere of enriched uranium on our way out and put it on the Windseeker?
I mean, if it's not
Is
hard
that-
to move.
Is that smart or is that
I mean,
bad?
we should probably put it in, the pipette's pocket dimension.
there you go.
Actually, yes, absolutely.
definitely
Will
do
it
that.
make everything in your pocket dimension radioactive? I think that's how that works, right?
Well, it does, but I'm fairly immune at this point.
Yeah. You
Also, should we be
underestimate that
standing
guy.
in here? Is this safe?
There's a shield around it, like
Okay.
a bubble of energy. It is safe to stand in here. But
Alright.
that's essentially all you find in here is the power core of the ship.
There's two doors though on each side.
One of them appears to be kind of broken when.
Is that the one I'm in front of?
Yes.
Is it look like it's half open, like it's broken open, or it won't
Part
open?
of it, a very small sliver, like, see my arms here? Like
Yeah.
that. But Zavita's legendary and has all kinds of weird
I'm gonna squeeze
stuff.
through this
So
shit.
yeah, give me a
Yeah.
acrobatics DC of 42.
All right, I osmosis Jones through here.
Yes.
Acrobatics, let's go. Yeah.
43, just enough. So yes, you are able to slink and slither your way under this door. Surrounded by machinery, this long chamber stretches across the width of the ship. All of its main engineering functions can be operated from this room, which also contains a tech workshop expansion bay. The ship's power core can be accessed through maintenance panels in the forward wall, which you just found out.
I'll whisper through the crack. Khan, can you go into your pest form and get in here? You're gonna like this place.
I don't
I'm
know if I
assuming
can
these
do that
doors
and
don't
still be
open
safe.
otherwise.
You can, with the spells that you have cast on you, they
Okay,
would remain.
yeah. But yeah, Khan just like shrinks, and then she's just suddenly a rat with like a little spacesuit and an air bubble.
I love it.
Love that. That's so great. So yeah, you can go on the other side with Zavid. And both of you do see that there's another flower goblet on the floor, conspicuously laying there, seemingly dead.
Mhm.
Obviously not.
Yeah.
Rat Khan crosses her arms, and goes, "Nah,
No,
Not
no,
in my
no.
house.
No. Oh wait. There's no air, but can we access the atmosphere life control shit in here?
Yes, you can access that from here. Con, I would need a crafting check of, let's call it 40.
Yeah. I think Zavid might need to, unless Rat Khan can do like an acrobatics check to climb up on the console.
I'd be okay
She's
with
gonna
that.
activate the life support as a rat.
Of course. Yeah, either
Yeah.
Zavid could pick her up, or she can just tap
I'll,
dance like
yeah, no, that's
Gary the
fine.
Mouse on a piano.
I'll toss you onto the controls. Hopefully, I don't accidentally toss you on the button that says self-destruct. You know.
Yeah, let's see a
Uh,
crafting of 40.
Crafting of 40. You got it.
Let me aid you. I don't know if you're
There you go.
even gonna need it, but here. Here's my aid.
That is a critical.
Wow.
So add 3.
I'm a
3.
master. So 6 for a
Oh yeah,
critical.
it's 6. Or, let me double check. The rules are so weird. You have to aid action. Aid. You grant your ally +2s if you're a master. It's +3 if you're master, 4 if it's legendary. Yeah, so 3.
3, but there's no critical.
That is the critical.
That is the
A
critical.
regular aid, you would have only given a +1.
It's always a 1. Got
Mhm.
it.
It's only higher if you crit. So that's more than enough. You are able to figure out how to turn on the regular lights, the environmental controls, the air pressure, all of the life support. That's the word I was looking for. The lights come on. Boom. You can start to hear as it starts to fill up with breathable oxygen. And within a minute or two, you're able to release the spells and breathe normally. Don't need your spacesuit magic anymore.
Fantastic.
I
And
look to
Reese
you
is
and
still
I'm like,
gonna be in his stuff. He has no idea what just happened.
it's true,
"There's
you
a
don't.
gun with flames that comes out, right? And now we have an atmosphere. Well, let's test it. Or I'll have you test it, and I'm gonna squeeze over and join Reese over here and be like, it's about
Yeah.
to get toasty in there.
Wait, you
Oh,
don't
I
have your
don't-
helmet on. Why don't you have your helmet on? What the fuck,
You
Speed?
breathe now.
Is this a joke?
I'm breathing.
If I die, he presses the button
Helmet on,
and he
that's
does
in
like
order.
a whole Buzz Lightyear thing.
Mhm.
Like, I can't. Oh, wait, no, you're right.
But yeah, Con, you're able to
Meanwhile, this
try
is
that
what
out.
Khan hears. Khan just hears. Just death on the other side of the door.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, she can't test out the flame sprayer because it doesn't have any fuel in it.
That's right. You haven't found the fuel yet. There
Yeah.
is something you do find in this room, though. Sitting next to the console, you see another thing that it looks like it might be some kind of weapon. It's similar in design to the one you found, but it doesn't have a thing for a canister. It's much longer, actually. The barrel is significantly longer. And you'd need a crafting check to know more about what this is.
Yeah, well, it's crafting check Sunday.
Yeah, crafting Sunday.
That's a natty one.
No idea.
No idea.
This thing, it's probably to help you with your vision tests. So you probably put your eye up against that hole, and then you
Yeah.
pull the trigger, and that is how you do your eye test.
Mm.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what this is for. It's an eye checker.
You know, the anvil is a little long away, but perhaps it's the technician is on the other side and they raise it up to your eye and they pull the trigger. That's what it's for.
Yes.
Reese, would you like to get in on a crafting check?
Yes, I would like to help with
Since
that
Shane
one.
is AFK, I'll have him roll one as well.
Yeah. Is she back with where we are?
Oh yeah, that's right. Are you even back to
Yeah.
it?
She'll
Oh my God.
she'll regain everyone.
Shane got in
Enjoy.
that one too, or Zavid did. Reese, there you go, just by one. Somehow, Reese recognizes this as a projectile lobber.
I'm gonna see Han just be like, yeah, and then, like, I think this trigger just, and he's just like, Han, that's a freaking gun.
Oops. My
I
bad.
need your special eyes, please. Don't shoot yourself. Thank you.
And as you're looking at it, Reese, your thumb goes over a small part of it, and it lights up. And you can see that it says that it apparently has 12 out of 20 of whatever ammunition it contains.
Oh, he is putting that on his person.
Reese is taking it.
Yeah.
You get the arc rifle. This rifle's oversized body contains a
I
large
mean,
version
it's
of an
normal
arc.
size for him.
Yeah, true. Rifle's oversized body contains a larger version of an arc pistol capacitor with a short barrel and polycarbon stock designed to insulate the wielder from high voltage. The arc rifle's larger capacitor allows it to produce arcage with enough power to subdue a rampaging Rencrota. I'm not sure what that is. It's a Starfighter thing. The capacitor contains enough capacity for 20 charges. On a hit, it deals 2d6 persistent electricity damage. So it's like Khan's is the 2d6 persistent fire. Yours is electricity.
Cool.
And I've dropped that in your inventory. It's just called Arc Rifle. So, where do you go from here? You have turned on the life support. Khan, I assume you're back with everyone else. Zavid, you also rolled a nat 1 to figure out what this thing is, but Reese figured out it's a gun.
I like being illiterate to like technology. I think it's funny.
It's very
It's
funny.
so
Yeah.
funny. And then Reese is the one that's just like, it's a gun.
There's another door over here.
Yes.
Wait, before we enter the door, aren't there like hallways over here? Shouldn't we check that out first before we go to another door?
You
The
went
hallway,
up the hallway
there's
to
one
the north.
hallway down here. That's it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we can do either choice. There's two choices. We can do this door and we can do the hallway. But I think this door it leads to one room.
Okay. Yeah, actually. Oh, I thought he was at like the thing like right in front of him where the blue lights are. I thought he meant that, like a doorway.
Hmm.
So you're going in here? This
Yeah.
room?
Yeah. Reese doesn't know spaceships.
The ship's port cargo hold contains much of the ship's supplies, extra food and water stores that have long since freeze-dried in the vacuum of space, replacement air filters, spare parts, and the like. There's also a large shipping container, approximately 8 foot square, with a marking written in a strange set of angular pictograms that Zavid recognizes as Castrovelli at this point. You can't read it yet, but you recognize it.
I pointed out to Reese. Words.
Can I translate for them?
You can. I want a society check from you, Reese. DC of 40. Or desert lore. Give me a desert or undead lore. Either one is fine.
Desert or undead? Let's see.
And actually, Zavid or Khan, you could get in with undead lore as well.
Alright.
Oh, jeez.
Another nat 1. All three of you. Dang. Zavid, that's pretty good.
This is a weird version of this writing.
There we go. Khan
Where
got
they're
a crit
very
on it.
messy, and he just keeps squinting.
But Khan, you see on it that it says to Trazin Eox. And you recognize that all your time with Reese and all your time traveling the world, you've started to recognize a lot of languages just like Reese. And you're surprised Reese didn't figure this out. You can see that the language it's written in is Castrovelli, but the curves are different. They almost look like ancient Assyriani pictograms, but they also kind of have strange accents that look like Necril. Why didn't Zavid notice that?
Necro threw Reese off.
How odd.
Do I not notice that with the 48?
You did not know. Khan only got it with a critical of 50.
Damn.
She nailed the check.
I guess Khan will take out like her little laser pointer and start pointing out like all the different aspects. I mean, and remind me what it actually says.
To Trazin Eox. It's almost
to
like an
Trazin.
address.
Oh. To as in like sending.
As in
something.
sending to someone named
Yeah.
Trazin, and the address is Eox, which you know is a planet.
Yeah.
The undead planet, specifically. The one that makes Zavid and Reese speak in tongues.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was about to say, I know that.
I mean, it's ironic that the planet that makes your the language part of your brain go a bit shuffled. It's what's on the doll here.
Oh my god. And he just like, I woke up and remembered my own language today, right?
Mhm.
Okay. Wow. Cool.
I thought you were talking about the sans serif, like if it's better to have these little accentation marks on the letters. No, that's important though, what you pointed out. It's much more
Yeah, that's
relevant than what I thought you were talking about at first.
way more sense.
Personally, I believe serifs are good because it. Another time.
Zavid,
well-
as you're having this conversation, your necromancer's visage begins to kind of pick up inside of this big shipping crate. You're almost smelling something.
The smelly smell.
The smelly smell of something that smells undead.
I put my finger to my mouth to try to make sure you guys know something's in here. Point to the crate. I take my staff out, and then I'm going to use my hefting shadow to try to tip over the crate, like push it over, see what spills out.
As you do so, and with ant haul and everything, it's no issue. What the side of the crate breaks off, and what spills out is a large glass sarcophagus with some type of skeletal, freeze-dried, nearly creature with pointy ears in a sort of full-length, almost uniform, gray in color.
Society check, please.
Absolutely. Or undeath lore would also be fine.
Fuck.
I would like to do Undeath Lore again.
Okay.
Redemption! No.
God.
40 and 42 were enough. You realize that this is a ghast.
I'm
You are aghast, yes, but you found this ghast is in this sort of suspended animation in a coffin.
I'll take a look at the coffin. Can we just take him out of suspended animation?
Yeah, there appears to be a little control port. Khan has figured out how this kind of machinery works at this point. She can kind of beep, boop, boop, boop. And you can see that the container fills with gas really quickly. The eyes slowly begin to flutter. And they look up to you. And let me share this image because it's cool. And you see this pointy-eared ghast, tall and lank and muscular, much less lanky than you're used to with a ghast. She looks to all of you and says, "Am I back to Eox? Where is
No.
Krillin?"
You are in the diaspora. Your ship was derelict. And there were problems. A lot of goblins had been turned into hybrid plant monstrosities.
See,
We found you adrift.
we were warned there might be goblin raiders along the route. What of the crew? What of the Acrian?
We have
We
not
haven't
gone
found
into the
anybody
cockpit
else.
yet, but we have found no one else.
Shames. Shame. How
By
long
the
are we
way-
on the star chart?
What is your name, stranger?
Forgive me. Space stasis is confusing to the brain. I am Commander Hibiza Escolar of the Corpse Fleet. I must speak with Trezin.
The corpse fleet.
I've been waiting to say that phrase in front of you.
I am Zavid. These are my companions, partners in crime, and best friends, Reese and Khan.
Greetings.
You're very lucky that we came upon you. I do not think anyone would have rescued you knowing about your condition.
Indeed, I was attempting to be smuggled through the diaspora. We did not want anyone to intercept me and my mission.
Your mission?
And I am to speak to Trezin. It is of the utmost importance.
Let's
Do you-
go to the
are you
cockpit.
agents of Trezin?
None of you have ever heard that name.
No, we are from Galarian. We recently ascended to space in pursuit of some fanatics of Cassandali.
I see. Yes, so you're from Galarian. That's the fourth planet in the system, I believe, yes? Okay.
Mhm.
So we're in the
Never heard of
diaspora,
right?
meaning we are...
Yeah, that might be right. She is wrong. Whatever is correct, she's incorrect. And she says, "Well, then, if you say the ship is derelict, what is the star date? Is it still 4236?
It's Tuesday.
Do we know what is our calendar the same?
Means nothing.
Hmm.
Well, I'm sure, honestly. We,
Hopefully not too much time has passed while the ship has been adrift.
hopefully not.
Galarian has not really had many people going up into space since Earthfall, so I couldn't tell you if our calendars are aligned or not. But we have an autognome that might be able to put things into perspective for you. How about let me ask you this: when was the last time? Do you remember a conjunction happening between the planets? All of them.
All of them? Goodness.
Yeah. When was the last time that happened?
I believe a few thousand years. I mean, not it's ancient history, but not galactically ancient history, I suppose.
A few thousand? Precisely how many thousand?
7, 8.
All right, so it's been about 20,000 years since then. Like,
My
since
goodness.
you remember, since you were frozen. There's been about 28,000 years since the last.
Oh. My. Well then. I wonder if Trizin is still even alive.
Yes,
I know we cast Ravelli long lived, but goodness.
Yes, let's go to the cockpit and see if any of your. There's
Very
blood, by the way. There are some corpses. Please
I see.
Ignore them.
be wary.
Very well, thank you. It's dizzying in here. Then let me close that out. Get over here. Okay, so you're going to the main cockpit, the front.
Yep.
Okay. As you open the door, a wide, transparent aluminum window stretches across the forward wall of this control room. Slowly tumbling rocks and twinkling stars in the distance are all that can be seen. Another one of the goblin plant creatures lies to the south, on the starboard side.
Yeah.
There
I
are.
point to the plant creature to our new friend and say, "This is all that's left of anybody on the ship."
Oh, yes. We were warned that there might be goblin raiders using strange bioships that they loot in the diaspora. Strange little disgusting creatures, more parasites than anything. Thank you for pointing them out. But let me see here. And Commander Hibiza goes to the front of the ship and starts boop, 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 accessing some logs and things. And normally you would have to do like a hacking check for this, but since you have Hibiza with you, let me see here.
I also just like that beep boop boop beep has caught on as a go-to sound for interfacing with technology in space.
It's perfect. Let's see. There it is. So if the PC successfully access the Acreon, the Acreon is the name of the ship. I know I said that name a minute ago in character, but that's the name of the ship, is the Acreon. To access the ship's logs, you can learn some of what befell the Acreon's crew. The logs detail the discovery of the drift rock, the crew's initial exploration of the asteroid surface, and the strange geodes found here. The captain's, let's see. So you find, she pulls up a small hologram of an elf woman who appears to be very distraught. And it says, "Captain's log, final entry. Hopefully not, but probably. There's something else. It came from the rock." The captain reports with more than a trace of panic in her voice. "We're getting overwhelmed. I'm going to open the ship to the vacuum. Maybe that'll slow him down." The log's final entry was recorded in the engineering room and shows the captain in her spacesuit. "Purging the air didn't work. I've set the autopilot to continue on to Eox, but we're abandoning ship. We'll fall back to the rock and try to regroup there. Acreon out." There are no further entries.
Well, the rock is dangerous, apparently. Or it was.
Indeed.
20,000 years ago. It's not easy to know if it still is.
Indeed. I would still be on your guard. You know, with how long things have been here, it's no telling who or what could be be squatting in there now.
Yes. There's two other rooms on the schematics. I looking at it like a readout of the ship or whatever. I'm like, we haven't been to these two rooms, but everywhere else seems to be clear.
Yor, let's take a quick look, and then we can move on wherever you need. Which direction you want to go, north or south?
I guess I'll leave that up to everybody else.
We could do north.
Okay.
Yeah, let's do north.
Long hallway. Let's see. The right side is just open, I suppose. The crew prepared and shared meals in this kitchen and eating area, though the quality of the preserved rations leaves something to be desired. Obviously, they've been here 20,000 years. But yeah, this is just a small little kitchen, and then there is the personal quarters behind you, and again, there is another one of those goblins in one of the rooms. But at this point, you're able to see them, and you know that if you don't get close to them, they won't attack you.
Oh, cool.
Let's see. Is there anything? Ah, yes. In this room, Khan, you do find a large petrol tank containing 10 charges. I think. Yes, that is all that's in that room. And then to the south, there are 2 more personal quarters with basically just the same stuff, not much in there. And then lastly, who goes into this last room? Oh, you're muted.
I said I will, and then I
Nice.
said kill me. Do it.
Great. So I need a reflex save, DC of 40 from Zavid, please.
Okay. Look for
Nice,
a worthy
47.
challenger.
Yes, you manage to dodge out of the way as a gout of flame gets blasted at you. There's a flame pistol, just like Khan has, that's rigged up to the door with a pulley and a string that when you open it, but you just managed to get out of the way.
Yeah, I go to detach the pulley system on
Easy enough.
the thing. Yeah, and then look in the room.
Okay. There's only one. There's a dead elf in here, who is laying next to the setup pistol, and they appear to have bled out from a large hole in their chest.
They're like mummified at this point.
Pretty much, just freeze dried body.
I let our ghast friend know, like, well, I believe we found out the fate of the captain.
Indeed. Oh, well, it looks like there might be some med packs still left. And Habiza goes in and picks up what you would not have even noticed. There's some little gray boxes, and she opens it up and shows you that, yeah, these will last essentially indefinitely. They can patch up little burns, wounds, things like that. And I'll give you some Eoxian med packs.
Nice. I want to ask this person about their memories of Eox. Also, what are credits?
Credits. It's the currency of Eox.
Oh, okay, so it is money. It's not like pretend money, it's real money.
Yeah, yes, it's the currency of the planet. It's a bustling economy. Last I left, our people had left Galarian from the last conjunction, from what our myths tell, and we'd gone to Eox to thrive, increase our culture away from, the more racist people of Galarian. Unfortunately, sad to say, it was a big problem at the time. Hopefully, things have gotten better there since then. But
yeah, I mean it's all right. It's just hard to say what happened to the rest of, because like Castrovel, we have someone who just visited Castrovel, and it's apparently a lot more wild and not as settled as it may have once been. Eox could be the same. I mean, we have no idea what society even looks like there, if there is a society to speak of. So,
really,
I mean, a lot of years have passed. Hard to say.
I do know that our people were having many health problems since we moved to Eox. The atmosphere is much more thin than on Galarian. We had skin cancer, things of that nature, things like that. It's much higher rates.
Well,
Wasn't
they
wonderful.
terraformed it a little bit. I mean, it has been.
Perhaps it might have been terraformed.
I hope so. They had 20,000 years to make the planet more habitable. If they didn't do anything, I'll be a little disappointed, honestly.
I would too. But, shall we move on? See what else we can find?
Yes. By the way, just so you know, there's gonna be another conjunction in, say, a couple months. So.
Goodness. From the
Yeah.
things I've heard, it traumatized the world.
I mean, that's why we're out here, and maybe maybe it's fate that we found you because of it, because it's gonna be pretty apocalyptic. Rovagug might come back. That'll suck.
Would suck, to say the least.
Yeah. But hey, at least you're not frozen and suspended animation for it. I think it would be worse to be eaten as a freeze-dried snack than it would be at least to be fighting back.
Indeed. Well, hopefully we can put up a fine defense and save our solar system.
That's our plan. You know, I'm sure you're aware Rovagug was imprisoned on Galarian is still imprisoned there.
Yes, that's what our
but
tales tell.
there are conspirators, including these Cassandali fanatics I mentioned earlier, who are trying to figure out the way to open the lock. There's a specific way you're supposed to do it, but we've made that almost impossible for our enemies to attempt. So they are trying to brute force it open using some underhanded means. We're trying to stop this from happening. Something tells me we're going to fail. Something tells me we're not going to be able to prevent his coming back. But if we can minimize his damage until we can reseal him and defeat those that would try to use his power, we can get through this conjunction with relatively few losses and have another 28,000 years of hopefully peace.
That would be a nice thing to have in front of us. Good light at the end of the tunnel to look forward to.
Yes. So if for whatever reason you cannot complete your mission, if those who are involved are no longer around or the mission is no longer relevant, something to maybe shift your focus to. Just throwing that out there.
Well, it's good to have a mission. Lord Castrovel knows that I did my duty within the fleet.
The fleet.
Yes, I'm
Right.
commander of the corpse fleet of Eox.
The full commander, like
Indeed.
the leader.
Well, I'm not the commander-in-chief. That would be King Jarek. King Jarek Assyrian, first of his name.
First
What?
of the Syrian kings.
There it is. That perked up Reese's ears, didn't it?
The society.
You don't need it
Oh, I don't
because
need
you
it.
remember
Oh, thank God.
when you were fighting the Shadow of Ergothoa,
Yeah.
and she cast that cataclysm spell and sent you all back in time because the waters of the river Styx flooded the room. You were sent back into King Jarek's war room.
Yep.
That was where Danny's mother had the key to
Yeah.
Rovagug's prison implanted in her blood. That's where Danica and Talandia went to the future. You met King Jarek. He had his sword to your face. He was standing next to Amanda, his Kingsguard.
Yeah.
You know this name. You know
Yeah.
this name.
We know the guy.
You know the
that
guy.
Or
You've
the
met him.
past version of him. I wonder if he's still around.
We Castrovella elves are quite long-lived. I suppose it's technically possible.
Well, are we heading? Where are we heading? We're still just going
You're not
somewhere
sure
to
yet.
Diaspora.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Do we have any leads on where to go?
Just so far, just this Commander Hibiza wanting to go to Eox.
But what I mean is like when we got the location from the elf. So we didn't get the coordinates of that.
Oh,
They did?
Eox, you mean?
No. So didn't the Cassandali Goblin send the coordinates to the enemies?
Yes.
Right?
Of
Did
the
we
Drift
get
Rock,
the
where you're
coordinates
at right
too?
now.
Are we
Yes.
going to that? Or is
That's
this
where
the
you're at
spot?
right now. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The ship
got
you
it.
are currently inside of is attached via a chain to a big asteroid, and that asteroid is the Drift Rock.
Got it.
So you beat your enemies here, but they're on their way.
Oh God.
Uh-oh. Okay. I look to our friend here. What's her name? Ibiza?
Hibiza Escolar.
Ibiza, listen, it just occurred to me that those enemies are on the way. Actually, we're not in pursuit of them. We're trying to beat them to the punch. I got it wrong. I'm tired. So, This drift rock has something really important within it. We need to move the rock to different coordinates. I don't know if that's possible. Maybe the ship can pull it, or we need to destroy it so that they can't get what's inside.
See, yes, that could. Either of those would probably be a good choice. Do you know anything about this rock? I was in stasis when the crew found it.
No, but I was wondering if it would be alright to drag it into Eox's orbit, and then you can have, if the King of Assyrian is still alive, he can decide will be done with it.
Oh, yeah,
'Cause I know he has a vested interest in preventing Roboga coming back. So he would
indeed,
be.
don't we all? Do you think we should investigate it?
I feel like that's the way the adventure is going, but I also feel like that's very dangerous. And I looked at you guys. I'm like, how dangerous do you want this to get? Do you want us to go inside because it's spooky, or should we do what is probably smarter is to just fucking leave it alone and drag it with this chain somewhere? Do you want to be smart and throw a wrench into Eli's plans, or do you want to have a fun adventure that's dangerous and might be bad?
I mean, I love fun adventures.
Me too.
I think the pragmatic choice is outvoted, but honestly, I would feel really bad if you had done all this work and we just skipped it. So let's do it.
Yeah.
Great. So
Let me just ask this: would it have been a smart idea if we did just drag it to Eox so we didn't have to deal with whatever was going on in there, or it would not
not
matter?
smart or not dumb. It just would have skipped some stuff, and you would have missed some information.
Fair.
You would miss information. This is what I'll
That's
say.
Fun. Most importantly, fun.
Yes, and that. So, using your magics that you used before, you're able to just kind of float your way up down this chain. You've actually done that before in Assyrian. You've crawled up that chain to that floating island. This is very familiar. And as you get down to the surface of the rock, you see that there's a big hole. Looks like a mining pit. You're able to crawl down in. You can close out the map of the Acreon now.
Okay.
We're pretty much going to stop here in the next couple of minutes, but you find that there's a hewn out hallway, much like a mining. It looks like it was carved out with tools and equipment. And this tunnel goes in deeper and deeper and eventually forks off where to the northeast is a hallway. Well, not a hallway, it's a tunnel. And to the east is a collapsed bit of rubble.
Okay. I have an idea.
Go on.
I want to get through the rubble. I want to brute force our way through this way, because
Ooh.
I think there's something cool behind here.
Reese can definitely help with that. He's a strong boy.
All right, strong
I'll
boys.
ant haul and take whatever you need moved, and I'll like toss it
Yep.
behind us.
Sweet. So give me an athletics check of let's call it 38. It's probably enough.
Hold on, what's it? Come on.
38 from each of us, or just me?
Either.
I'll do it.
I'll aid.
Sure, there you go.
It'll let me. Please. There we go.
Please. I need it.
That's... Yeah, it's enough for an 8. So between the two of you, with Ant Hall and your shadow and everything, you're able to get enough of this rubble moved about that you can sort of open up. There we go. And it leads to a bit of an open room. Let's see, what do I have here? Large chunks of rubble are scattered across this cavern, with a large boulder blocking your path, which you just opened up. And there is a big rock to the west. You can kind of see it on here, but yeah, there's a big boulder on the ground.
Alright, go look at the boulder.
Mhm.
That's a nice boulder.
That's a nice boulder.
It's a boulder.
As you do, behind you, Zavid, you feel the barrel of something metal touch the back of your head as you hear a mechanical voice say, "Stop in your tracks." And I think this is where we're going to stop for this session.
Oh, spicy.
She doesn't
There it
even
is.
say it. She just fucking shoots me in the back of the head, and the bead's
That's it.
is over.
4.5 years commitment for nothing.
You guys just see his fucking brain matter splatter the wall. It's just over for him.
Yep, that's it. I've been planning this the whole time.
Yeah, the show really went downhill on season 5 when they just killed off Zavid for no reason. You know what? My pet theory is they couldn't get the actor to renew his contract, so they had to
But
kill
then
off his character as
They're
soon
gonna
as
show a
possible.
flashback of where I killed her like father or something, like in
Mhm.
Left 4 Dead 2. No. What's it called? The Last of Us 2. Where
Right.
Joel gets big spoiler.
Spoiler.
But yeah, I'm Joel here.
Joel ended up. But I think, yes, this is a good place for us to stop, I think. I had a good time.
Yep.
Excited to reveal more of what's going on with Drift Rock and who is this person, this this blue-skinned mechanical type person. We'll find out next time. Hope everyone will join us. I think we're off next week. I'm not 100% sure. We'll figure it out, play it by ear, let everyone know.
Okay.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.